Hey extended tribe members, it's been a while since we spoke. Today I'm making a new video because it's been 3 years since we've signed the deal to purchase this beautiful, sexy, juicy piece of property in the south of Portugal. And our mission is to build a self-reliant, sustainable, small-scale homestead. And in this video I'm going to show you exactly what we've done so far. So sit back and enjoy. So, for the people who've been following our YouTube channel since the beginning, you know that we came in this camper driving from Holland after moving from Thailand back to Europe. Now, this camper has not only brought us all the way to Portugal from Holland, but it also served as our dwelling for 1.5 years after moving onto the property here. Now, because this property had been abandoned for a long time, the brambles were 4 or 5 meters up in the cork trees, and we couldn't even drive onto the land. So the first mission here was to clear the land of brambles. We couldn't even find the well and the bread oven. They were all completely overgrown. So it was a big mystery what we were going to find on this land. But in order to even access the property, we had to cut lots of branches off of the cork oaks on the track to our land. And it took us a long time to even make a pathway through the jungle of brambles to drive our camper in here. But once we did, we parked it in a nice spot, and we lived in it for 1.5 years. And for people that know a little bit about off-grid living or survival kind of thing, you might realize that there's a couple of things that human beings need, and one of them is shelter, the other one is fire, water, also very handy. But we had our shelter sorted in the shape of this camper. Now, would I recommend to anybody to go and do this in a camper with 2 kids? Maybe not, because for us in our little microclimate here, it does get cold in the winter. And actually I remember that one winter that we had to bridge in this camper, that I had to come out in the nighttime for a nighttime pee, and I had to crack the door open because it was frosty. -8 in the morning it touched, or maybe even -9. So it's no joke. Okay, we did survive with hot water bottles, and at one point I fixed the little gas heater in the camper, so that was really awesome. But would I recommend it for a healthy family life and a sense of human comfort? Probably not. If you have the money to set something up, to buy a prefab wooden bungalow or something to bridge the time where you're rebuilding your ruin or something like that, then I would definitely do that. Now, before we moved on to the land, we were living in an apartment in town here, but at one point I just felt like we were just paying rent to flush the toilet there every now and then, because we were always on the land here working, and I don't like wasting money. And specifically after this whole corona thing started unfolding, not only did we feel the necessity to leave town, but also our income drastically changed because of the situation. So I felt like every month of rent was potentially money that I could stick in building a roof on this ruin here. So we moved away from the apartment that we rented, and we decided to just go for it, which we did. So thanks to this camper, we had the shelter part sorted out. So that was really wonderful. So water is another necessity of life. Sooner or later you're gonna find out you're gonna need it, especially on a homestead like the one we're trying to set up. You want to grow veggies, right? You want to become food independent. So our well In the beginning, when we first arrived here, we knew there was a well on the property, but we couldn't even see it because it was a sea of brambles, blackberries, right? The nasty kind with big thorns and stuff. So we were extremely happy to at some point find the well, and not only find one, but also find that it's not collapsed and that it had plenty of water inside. So the first gardens we made were winter gardens where we planted onions and garlic and all types of stuff that just grow with the rain that is falling. Oh, look at you guys, so needy, so needy. But soon enough, when the rain stopped, we figured we had to water the garden and we didn't have running water yet. So I can tell you by experience that the feeling of gratitude after connecting this pump to our solar setup and making these water pipes to all the places on the property where we were hanging out and needing water, the feeling of gratitude came from deep, deep in my core. And I realized as well that growing up as a supermarket kid, yeah, born in the tail end of the 70s, I kind of grew up in the land of plenty, right? Turn on the tap, water comes out. Open up the fridge, there's food there. You go shopping with your mom in the supermarket, and you take everything for granted. You kind of do at some point, right? We have shelter, we have water, we've got everything. But using a wheelbarrow to bring buckets of water to the garden, to water it in the beginning when we didn't have the pump yet, really made me realize how the people that had lived here before us, what their life was like, right? And the comforts that we have gotten so used to. So thanks to my big friend and fellow Permi head Paul, we installed this pump, we put all the water pipes out, and after a day we could open up the tap and we had running water. And I can tell you, the feeling of gratitude after opening the tap and feeling that cool, fresh well water, man, it seriously, it moved me, it touched me, it brought tears to my eyes. The feeling was so powerful that I could just feel it right in my chest, right in my core. And not having water for a while, doing the wheelbarrow with buckets thing to the garden, and then having a friend coming here like an angel, doing the water connection with me, because I'd never done that stuff before. Man, this feeling was so powerful. I wouldn't have wanted to miss it for the world, because I'm never gonna take water for granted ever again. So guys, what am I doing here posing on my toilet? Well, you guessed it, on an off-grid homestead like this, you need a place to do your stuff, right? And with no septic tank, no facilities, nothing around, you're gonna get tired of digging a hole anytime your kid needs to do a little something. So pretty soon after we settled down here, I started to make this toilet, and actually it's the first thing that I really built here on the land. And I figured if I wanna, you know, have my family to poop in a bucket, I might as well make it a sexy one. So I did my best, and I pretty much used only recycled and reclaimed materials. The whole thing is made with pellet wood, except for the bottom and the top. The bottom is made with OSB, and the top is made with this multiplex, how do you call it, stuff. And of course the toilet seat, right? But it's pretty much made with recycled materials. And what I did is I followed the instructions of one of the legends in the game, Joe Jenkins, or Joseph Jenkins. He wrote a book called The Humanure Handbook. I didn't read the whole thing because I was focusing on a simple setup that's foolproof, which is this bucket system. And if you stick to the rules and you do what Joe suggests you do, with plenty of sawdust covering the materials, then you will not have any smells, you will not have any flies, and it just works. So technically speaking, this is not a compost toilet because the material doesn't compost in place, but you have to empty your bucket all the time after it's full into a compost system, which you have to cover with carbon material, right? Straw or another kind of stuff, leaves or whatever. So we've been using this now for ever since we've got the land here, and eventually in the future, one day, I want to build a sexy compost toilet, perhaps with this IBC tote setup that my friend Paul is always raving about. Perhaps with another kind of setup, I'm not sure yet. We will all get there one day, but for now we've got this little setup and it's been working for us. We've got about 8 of these old paint buckets that we use, and once they're all full, I have bucket day. If you want to come and volunteer in our place one day, maybe you'll be lucky enough to have bucket day one day, because so far, besides Charlie, one of the most awesome Irish guys volunteering here, I've done every single bucket by myself. Anyway, bucket day is easy weasy, but that's the only day you really get to handle the business. But anyway, guys, in your setup you need to have a toilet, and I'm quite proud of my work. Yes, I know the structure itself is falling apart a little bit, and actually the same Charlie, he did the place up a little bit with pellet wood on the sides because we had this hessian everywhere. Seemed like a sexy idea, but of course the stuff degrades within 1 season or after 2 seasons, so we clad it with pellet wood. And Charlie also baptized this toilet into the Poo Poo Palace, which he chiseled in the front door, which is fun, but probably not a permanent solution. So guys, enjoy my toilet, and if you want to see a tutorial video on how to make one of these, let me know in the comments below. Might be something that would be fun. So there you go. So what's this piece of black plastic, you might wonder? Well, it's a super low-tech solution to have a hot shower, because after some days of working on your land, you're gonna get sweaty. You're gonna want to have a shower, which we had in different primitive forms. You know, those shower bags that you leave in the sun for a bit and all that kind of stuff. It's all fine and dandy when you're camping, but in real life it doesn't last very long, right? So my mate Paul, who was here installing the pump, helped to show me how to make a coil. And of course I had the idea in my head, but he had done it for a couple of times before. So basically we made a frame from wood that I found on the roadside, trash wood, and we coiled up a black piece of water pipe, and basically it gets pumped from the well, goes into the heater coil and up to the shower head. Now this coil and the water that comes out gets absolutely cooking in the summertime. Right now I could have a really hot shower, so hot that I couldn't even stand under it. So basically we made a split, and one pipe is coming straight from the well with cold water, and the other one is coming from the coil, so you can mix the two and have a pleasant shower. Now of course this stuff only works in the spring, summertime and early autumn, but don't expect to have hot showers in the winter. Although I must say, on a winter day in Portugal, when you're out of the sun, or sorry, out of the wind, and it's still sunny, you could, you know, have lunch in your t-shirt in some days, and you can also still have a shower in some days. But don't expect on a grey rainy day to have a hot shower. That's not working, okay? So eventually We're gonna make a nice setup with a water heater on gas, because I'm not a caveman. I do want to have hot showers anytime I want to be able to use that technology. But this kind of low-tech stuff, you know, it costs you some money, but next to nothing, and it can really make your life comfortable. So even if you're making a bathroom building for outside showering, if you come back from the beach and you want to wash the sand off your feet, put one of these guys on the roof and you're gonna have hot water 3/4 of the year, or half of the year at least. So pretty good solution. And we also have a little shower made out of cane. We had some lovely Dutch people volunteering here, Edwin and Annemieke. They're super nice people, and they managed to score a piece of land not far from us, so we are really happy to call them neighbors as well. But they made us this cute Instagrammable Pinterest shower, which is really lovely. Again, in the summertime. In the wintertime it's a little less romantic, but hey, we've got all our bases covered. So, the first structure I built on our piece of land is this roof over this caravan right here. And I'm not a carpenter, not by any means, so I did get some advice from a friend who is a carpenter, and I managed to put this together. I made some mistakes which I managed to hide and fix. And a while ago I had a carpenter on the land here, and I did ask him not to be too skeptical with judging my work. But all in all, it didn't blow away in the winds, and it's still standing. I'm pretty proud and happy that I built it. This caravan right here was bought by Shirley's parents soon after we purchased the land here, and it was going to become their holiday getaway, or a place for family and friends to stay should they visit, or for volunteers. And of course the whole corona thing happened in the meantime, so they didn't get to visit us yet, but will very soon. And it became our kitchen, camp kitchen. So we've got our wash station, we've got a table and chairs, we've got some cutlery and stuff, we've got a fridge running on gas, we've got a stove inside, and it's basically storage and kitchen for now. But soon we're gonna have the Pancake Kingdom finished, which is one of the projects we're working on at the moment. And when that kitchen is finished, this place should become a self-sustainable unit to host somebody with its own shower and compost toilet. So we do have a water connection here. There's a solar panel on the roof, so we've got electricity, water, everything's already here. But once the kitchen has moved out, we're gonna pimp it with cane and bamboo and pellet wood and all that kind of stuff, and make it into a super nice, cute little corner getaway. So I'm sitting here on the porch of my own little house. The property came with a ruin of about 85 square meters, 91 on paper, but in reality it was a little bit smaller. But it was in complete shambles. When we came here, the roof was falling in, there was still old furniture and a fireplace and underwear from the previous inhabitants laying around, a complete mess. But these 4 walls, 3 of natural stone and 1 of rammed earth, they were still quite intact. So we decided to restore only that small part, which was 25 square meters. So together with a builder, a bricklayer, we made a ring beam and some pillars to keep the walls from moving. And after that we had a carpenter to make a beautiful roof with me. I've been involved in every step. I usually only work with one expert, a builder or a carpenter, me as a helper, and another person. Sometimes we had some volunteers. funnily enough, guys, and that's truly how I think the universe works, we had some amazing people to help me with mixing concrete, tough work, you know, and as well when we were doing the roof, who shows up as a volunteer? Yuriko, a beautiful person who happened to be a restorative architect. Felt like a fish in the water, wanted to be on the roof helping the carpenter. So it was truly yeah, proof that small miracles happen and synchronicity is all around you once you allow it to happen. So that was really cool. It was my dream image in my head to be in here before Christmas, because winter was already getting colder and I got really antsy. So it was my dream to be in here, and indeed we got it done. You know, we had a Christmas tree, we had the kids with the presents and the lights, and it was glorious. Feeling accomplished, having built, you know, or at least restored a house, and sleeping under a roof that you built with your own hands together with beautiful people. Man, there's nothing like it. Hearing the creaking sounds of the roof and the little snoring sleepy sounds of your family, it truly made me feel, yes, accomplished and very fulfilled. And same as with the water, guys. They're not making jokes when they talk about shelter being our primal needs. We're not cavemen, and having a little house just makes you feel like a human again and allows you to dream and make plans for all the other things you want to do on your land, but from behind the window. So this is pretty nice. Now there's another room next door which we would like to restore and put a roof on, but building costs a lot of money, so we have to be selective with what we attack, which projects we attack first. But once that's done, the outside, all this old plaster is going to be chipped off and replaced with a beautiful plaster. We're going to put lighting on the outside and a terrace, and all that stuff will come, but at least the inside is super nice. It's a little bit messy from our daily life, so the grand tour will have to be some other time, but you get the picture. 25 square meters might not be big, but think about this, guys. It's rent-free. Super sweet. Okay. So behind me you can see the garden in the background. I wanted to shoot some nice video there, some footage, but while I was shooting footage, I thought to myself, man, I should be watering the garden, and before you know it, I'm doing a watering session. And this is also what prevented me from making a lot of videos, is because I've got so many things to do that I just want to do the thing instead of always making videos about doing the thing, right? Which is a big difference. Shooting videos takes a lot of time, but it's also a lot of fun, and I'm passionate about it. So I found a middle way, took some footage, did my watering session, and my tomatoes are catching on quite nicely. I've got some cucumbers and pumpkins growing, and I've got a bunch of potatoes ready to be harvested. And yes, gardening is a big experiment for me. I'm learning a lot, and this garden has been here for 3 years now. It's the 3rd season. We had a lot of successes, we had a lot of failures. The soil is building up nicely, and this year, especially with the winter crops, has been the most abundant year so far. Broccoli, cauliflower, cabbages, kale, spinach. We just harvested a bunch of garlic and onions, red and white ones. It's been amazing this year, and I hope, despite the lack of water that we might really experience this summer, that we can still grow some nice summer crops. Because I would love to make some tomato sauce again and can it for keeping it for the winter. So that would be really awesome. Similar to the garden, around the same time we planted a lot of trees. There was a project here that was giving away free trees, indigenous trees, and some olive species as well. So I've planted a lot of trees. I think altogether trees and shrubs and plants probably over 100. We only have a small piece of land, and they didn't all survive. I killed a couple. You know, sometimes you put trees here that are not resistant to the frosty winters we have here, or you plant them somewhere you forget all about watering them. You need to survive them as well. But as my friend and teacher Kyle said, you can't develop a green thumb without having some blood on your hands. So every time I see a shriveled little plant that I planted with lots of inspiration one day and good intentions, I remember that one, and it's really the case. You get better and better at it. Also discovering and exploring what likes to grow in what location, and that's a part of these permaculture principles. Observe and interact. It's not just a one-liner, but once you have a piece of land, you truly start to understand what wants to grow where, and where does the water want to go, where's the wind coming from. Of course that tree doesn't like it here, it's in a windy place. So you live and you learn. We're trying to grow a Garden of Eden, so I think the coming winter I would love to plant some more fruit trees, because we only have a couple and not all of them are doing super well. Plus, with the brush cutter last week, I was so in the zone that I cut down a little plum tree that was just bearing fruits for the first time. Painful, but hey, as is life. Welcome to the Zen Space. This beautiful place I got drawn to when we first got here because it was so nice and quiet and powerful nature spot that I started to do my morning meditations here. At some point we made this deck here from pallets, which we would like to clad with decking material or some wood at some point to really make it into a functional place where you can do yoga or have awesome nourishing gatherings like meditation groups or chanting circles or whatever you can imagine. It's super powerful. You're hugged by Mother Nature, and it's the spiritual heart of our land. A beautiful spot. So far we've been using it as our outside living room in the summer months when it gets really hot. It's so nice and cool here with the shade and the leaves around us that we even sleep here sometimes in the summertime. We hang a mosquito net up here, we have our bed, and we fall asleep looking at the stars, and we wake up with the sounds of nature in our ears. So that is truly amazing. One of my favorite spots on the land. This right here is one of the projects that we are focusing on at the moment. It's going to be a kitchen, an external kitchen from the house. We also call it the Pancake Kingdom because Daddy Pancake likes to bake pancakes on Sunday and I need more workspace. So basically what we're doing here is we're converting this old pig pen, which is made from natural stones, and we're using that wall, and we made a stick frame around it to carry the roof, and we're filling in the walls with pallets. We're shuttering the walls with pallets, and we're stuffing the pallets with slip straw. A really nice method of natural building. We're also using some cob inside, but mostly slip straw. I had never done that before and I wanted to try it out, and I really love it. It's super awesome. It's got pros and cons. but it goes really fast and it's super nice. I know it doesn't look super fancy now. These windows are all reclaimed. I had them laying around for a long time, and we're gonna sand them and paint them, and everything's gonna look super sweet. And of course we're going to plaster over the straw and the wood, so you won't see any of that. But yeah, this is one of our the work in progress, and if it was up to me, I would put all my attention in here. But we also have other things that need attending, right? So we got to mix the priorities a little bit. But this is going to be our kitchen. One day there's going to be a bar here in the front, and pancakes are going to be, the windows are going to be open, pancakes will be served here, and it's going to be glorious. So stay tuned to see how the Pancake Kingdom will develop. So here we are, guys, on the top of Unicorn Hill. We baptized this hill Unicorn Hill because one day during the sunset we saw the silhouette of a unicorn on top of the hill here. So you can imagine the name stuck. And look at the view, guys. We call our land the island sometimes because it's surrounded halfway with a little creek that's pretty much dry now. But look at it, our tiny little valley in the middle of nature. We're loving it. So guys, this was the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed making it. It took me 2 years to come up with a new video, but I kicked myself under the bum and I finally did it. No fancy editing or intros and that kind of stuff, because I love doing it, but it takes a lot of time. So this is it, raw and ready, bada bing, bada bang. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it, and I hope this sparks more motivation and inspiration to make new videos, because I really love it. Now, as you can see, we still have way many projects that we want to do. A ton of things we want to do. Our permaculture and sustainability wish list is more than 1,001 items long, and we kind of stopped looking at the list because it's too daunting. And also we adjusted ourselves to the pace of life here, and also the attitude that the Alentejanos are so good at showing us, and that is that we do everything todo com calma. We do everything not in a lazy way, but in an easy way. We go with the flow of life and instead of trying to plow against it. So we keep the list short. 3 things on the list or something, and I bounce around. If I don't like one thing one day, I'll just do the other thing, and this way it stays fun, because I realized more and more that a project like this, the way we're doing it on a shoestring, is a life project, and it's not like a video game like Minecraft or The Sims, where you can drag and drop your chicken coop here and that kind of thing. So we've got a ton of things that we still want to do. We want to have a chicken coop, we want to have a soldier fly larvae harvesting machine, we want to have a beautiful compost bay, we want to catch water, guys. This is a big thing on our list, but the tanks are expensive. Anyway, we want to make water storage, gutters on the roof, we want to extend the ruin, we want to extend the Zen desk, we want to make a bigger playground for the kids with swings and stuff, and a mud kitchen and a sandbox, while they're still, you know, able to enjoy it. Plenty of stuff to do. So we're not gonna get bored anytime soon. So all I can say is, guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to making another video. Don't get your expectations up. You know, we're doing everything random, so don't expect us to upload 3 videos a week or something like that. And there are plenty of other YouTubers who are doing that, but we're not one of them, yeah? So if you want to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell thingy and all that stuff, really awesome, makes us feel good. If the channel grows, it shows that people are somehow liking what we're doing. But life is only short, guys, so don't spend all of it on the sofa with YouTube on the tablet. Make sure to get out there and do stuff yourself, okay? So with that said, guys, I'm gonna love you and leave you. Ciao, from my heart to yours. I'll see you on the next one. Ciao, ciao.